is something different? Hello again, and happy Halloween. Since the response to my 1998 versus 2014 video was better than expected, I've decided to further ruin my credibility and compare 2016's Shin Godzilla to the 1954 original for my Halloween special. Also, November 3rd is right around the corner, so that's a pretty big deal. This time around, there are people who will argue for either side, and both of the movies are masterpieces. Which is more of a masterpiece, though? That's what I'm here to find out. Let's do this. Before I go, there was something else I wanted to cover one last time this year. But I think I'll wait until I have a bigger viewer base before I finally put that one to rest. Anyways, back to what I was doing. So yeah, things aren't going to be listed off in the same order. This time it's more logical. The synopsis of both films don't exactly do them justice. In Gojira, a prehistoric monster is awoken by H-bomb tests and then attacks Japan. It also follows the moral dilemmas of several people who are directly involved in the government's inability to act. Not too complicated. In Shin Gojira, a prehistoric organism is awoken by radioactive waste and then attacks Japan. It also follows the moral dilemmas of people who are directly involved, and I feel like I've heard this somewhere before. So yeah, the two films have very similar plots. The only major differences are the setting, the characters, the metaphor, and the incarnation of Godzilla, all of which do not pertain to this section. I wanted to put more here, but I just can't. The two movies are at a stalemate here. Neither wins. Or do they both win? I don't know, and it doesn't matter. Moving on. Okay, this time I have more to talk about. The characters are what really sell these movies. In Gojira, we have Ogata, a hard-working sailor who is having an affair with Emiko Yamane. Emiko is the daughter of Dr. Yamane, a famous paleontologist who wants to study Godzilla rather than see him destroyed. She is engaged to Dr. Serizawa, #TheRealSerizawa. He discovers a chemical that could be used as a weapon and wants to keep his dark secret a secret. He even sacrifices himself to make sure it never falls into the wrong hands. The original is full of moral dilemmas. Dr. Yamane, in his first scene, appears awkward and nervous, even forgetting to tuck in his tie. He looks like he's expecting to be laughed out of the room. He's then sent into a deep depression when the government decides to kill Godzilla rather than study him. He even gets mad and yells at Ogata when he says that Godzilla is too dangerous to allow to live. His depression only goes deeper as the very thing he tried to defend kills hundreds of thousands of people overnight, and he witnesses the end of Serizawa. Serizawa knows that if he uses his oxygen destroyer even once, he'll endanger himself as well as the rest of the world. He knows it's the only way to kill Godzilla, but that's what tortures him. Out of fear for world war, he keeps it a secret. But if he keeps it a secret, he's guaranteeing the deaths of hundreds of thousands, even millions more. The scene between him, Ogata, and Emiko in his lab is cinematic gold. Emiko, Ogata, and Serizawa are never on bad terms. In fact, Ogata and Emiko both feel incredibly guilty for their affair behind Serizawa's back. This is one of the things that makes the original so special. The character drama is so good. Everyone is well thought out and has very realistic motivations. Nobody acts like a caricature. It's all grounded in reality. Shin Godzilla has Rondo Yaguchi, an up-and-coming politician who knows what needs to be done, but bureaucracy gets in his way. He's aided by Kayako Ann Peterson, a Japanese-American woman who aspires to be the president one day, and who is putting her career on the line to do what's right. Also by his side is Hiromi Ogashira, Deputy Director of Nature Conservation Bureau, who figures out a lot of things about Godzilla and how he works. The fandom went absolutely nuts with fan art for her, and for good reason. She's just the best thing ever, and I love her to pieces. Yaguchi also hires a ragtag group of scientists featuring Shinya Tsukamoto, my favorite male Japanese actor and director. More on his wisdom at a later date. The Prime Minister and his cabinet have good intentions, but fail consistently at handling the situation at hand. This movie has quite a few more characters, and while I could keep track, some people might not be able to. The characters are still one of the best things about the movie, if not the best. The characters bring everything together and make this whole situation seem that much more realistic. Everyone blunders by the end, some more than others, but they persevere. I also want to point out that the acting was phenomenal. The actors were actually instructed to speak faster than normal to resemble actual politicians, and they still nailed it. Serious props to the cast of Shin Gojira. But which is better? I'd have to say Shin. While Gojira had a great slow burn to it, I prefer the straight-to-the-point quality of Shin's dialogue. After all, Shin is a bit longer, but still manages to keep me engaged with the story. Point goes to Shin. Okay, here's where I could potentially get some heat. I don't think the effects in Gojira aged too well. I mean, I get it. There was a lot of work put into it, and it was good for its time, and I appreciate that. I really do, but we're not talking about for its time, or even for Japan. We're talking about the current day and age, and Shin Gojira looks fantastic. Seriously, the effects in Shin look so good I could barely believe my eyes. They can stand against a Hollywood movie easily. The look of the film captures that feeling of beauty and destruction and makes carnage seem more poetic in a way. The same goes for design. Shin just has more going on. Godzilla's first design does look good, damn good in fact, but Shin looks like the original on scary amounts of steroids, and maybe even a little crack. Also, Kamada-kun is #1 pupper. Now, Gojira's look and feel was very effective, the black and white emphasizing the gritty, grim tone. But the effects are kinda... But Shin, on the other hand... Not much else to say. Just because it's good for its time doesn't mean it's all that anymore. Point goes to Shin. Gojira's sound and music is legendary. Akira Ifukube's range was wide. From disturbing dirges to fantastic fanfares, he does it all. He even lent to the sound design, producing Godzilla's trademark roar and booming footsteps. It's classic. Shin, however, ups the ante in the music department. While the sound design and some of the songs cannot be credited to Shin Gojira proper, the new music is absolutely gorgeous. Persecution of the Masses, Who Will Know, The Offensive, all of them send shivers of demented glee down my spine. Both movies show incredibly disturbing things, but Shin Gojira just makes me feel like that's what's happening with its music. Ifukube's themes complement the lumbering beast before us, but Sugiso's is epic and sweeping. It makes you feel the emotional weight of the situation in disturbing, delicious detail. It's a little close, since Shin uses music and sound from other Godzilla movies, but on the merit of what it did on its own, I'll give the point to Shin. Now, on to our final section. Both movies have very deep and subtle themes. Gojira is a metaphor for the destructive power of atomic weapons. Shin Gojira represents the force of nature and how deadly it is to the Japanese people. Themes the films share are the panic and confusion of disaster and the government's inability to stop it. Both films have messages that are important today. They're both extremely relevant to the current times and are legitimate concerns for people all over the world. I'll give a point to both because going deep into things would take all day and I'm already way behind schedule. So, in conclusion, I think that both movies are masterpieces and two of my favorite movies of all time, not to mention my two favorite Godzilla movies. But which is better? Sorry purists, but I'd have to go with Shin Gojira. It's new, it's fresh, it's a Gojira for a new generation. It references a tragedy that many youths nowadays remember, just as Gojira did for their grandparents back in 1954. It's Gojira's true successor. So that's all I have for today. How are you liking this new scripted review format? Don't forget to tell me in the comments below, and hit that like and subscribe button while you're at it. Also, join my Discord server if you want to be kept up to date with uploads, project progress, or just want to see a dang meme or two in the meantime. There are many projects that I really want to get to, several ambitious projects, but time will tell if we ever get to those. So, farewell for now, I'll see you all later. Son of a bitch. It's that Soradian agent again. Before I go, I forgot to take my headset. Also, join my Discord server if you want to be kept up to date on project progress, or just want to see a dank meme or two. There are several things I want to get to, several ambitious projects, but we'll see if we get to those. Bye bye. Also, November 3rd is... Before I go... Also, November 3rd is right around the corner, so that's a pretty big deal. This time around, there are people who argue for both sides of this. I keep forgetting that. Also, November 3rd is just around the corner, so that's a pretty big deal. This time around, there are people who are arguing for it. Also, November 3rd is right around the corner, so that's a pretty big deal. This time around, there are people who will argue for either side. Forgot my... That's all I have for today. How are you liking these new scripted formats? So, that's all I have today. So, that's all I have for today. How are you liking these new scripted review rant format? Are you liking the format? So, that's all I have for today. How are you liking these new So, that's all I have for today. How are you liking this new scripted review rant format? I had it. So that's all I have for today. How are you liking this new scripted review? Tell me in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I finally got past that part. So that's all I have for today.